Hi, I want to talk to you about suicide and depression. Phoenix has a little film community and, well, kind of big. Phoenix is a big city. And a woman in the Phoenix film community took her own life night before last. Today is May 24th, 2017. So, when you're worried, when you're concerned that someone is suicidal, you need to call a professional right away, and you need a suicide assessment. You need to get somebody to do a suicide assessment. A suicide assessment is 3 questions. It is, how would you kill yourself? Do you have the means? And do you have a date picked? And if you think someone might be suicidal, and I just did a video a week or so ago on cutting. I get young women, clients every now and then who are cutting, and there's different reasons for cutting. You can see that video. But one of the reasons is that person is flirting with suicide. They're flirting with the idea of suicide. And so you can't freak out. If you think someone's suicidal, you can't freak out. And if you're emotionally involved with them, you can't be involved in the process of helping them. You can't. You have to call a professional. Because if you're involved in the process of helping them, it gets muddy. It gets muddy, murky. It won't be a clean kind of interaction, and also you'll be upset. So you have to contact a professional. You can call 911 and just say, I need a suicide assessment. Or you can call Terrace Crisis or MPACT if you're in Arizona. Or you can look in the front of your Yellow Pages, if you have Yellow Pages, which you might not have, a Yellow Pages book. But you can call up information, and you can ask them for a number for a suicide hotline and get someplace quiet and private and alone and tell them, my friend or my loved one has mentioned that they no longer want to be alive, or that they're thinking about killing themselves, and then you let those professionals come and take over. So a lot of times people tell me that they didn't know that somebody was suicidal, that somebody was planning suicide. And this woman in particular, this young woman who took her life day before yesterday, she had a happy smile pasted on. I knew her a little bit. She used to have me on her radio show every now and then. Sorry about that, you guys. I bet that was distracting. Let me just hold this. I'm just going to hold this. And I knew she had some old traumas. Her parents had forced their religion on her. And that is really damaging to do to your child. Don't force your religion on your child. And there was even some, I can't really talk about it because it's private. It's private. She wasn't a client of mine. And it wasn't like a secret, like the people who were in the room at the end of this radio show that we were doing on abuse, they heard her. They heard the two of us talking to each other. It wasn't a secret, but I can't talk about it. I'm sorry. But don't ever force your religion on your child. That's damaging. It's damaging. the spiritual journey is a very personal one. So I told her at the time, you need to come and talk to me. You need to come and talk to me privately. Come and do a session. I said, I have a healing technique. And actually, if you're watching this and you're feeling suicidal, I want you to look in my website store, and it's called Healing Childhood Trauma. Because whether you have a physical, mental, emotional, or sexual abuse, it does not have to plague you. You don't have to live with that. Okay? Just, it's really inexpensive, really thorough CD. And don't go to a counselor who takes you back in time to the trauma. That's not the way you heal a trauma like this. You don't go back to the memory of the trauma and rehash it. That doesn't heal it. That makes it worse. That will make you worse. Don't do it that way, please. Just listen to my CD, Healing Childhood Trauma, my audio download. So there's no signs. She posted on Facebook one last post at about 10:30 p.m. night before last. Just 2 words, I'm done. She just said, I'm done. So there was some childhood stuff, and also there was an ex who was really just torturous. He wasn't just letting it go. And it was dragging on and on and on. But frankly, truth be told, the relationships we choose, especially the beloved relationships we choose, they're based on the childhood programming, the old traumas that we suffered. So we have to clean up the old traumas, and we don't do that by going back there. So one last thing I want to say. Those of you who've known me for more than 10 years, you know that about 7 years ago, you know how strong I was and happy, and you know that 7 years ago in 2010, I woke up one morning. I was doing power yoga the night before. Yoga's the devil. I'm just kidding. Not really. And I woke up the next morning and I fell down and I didn't walk for a year. And because I'm a breast cancer survivor, this is back before Obamacare, I had really shitty health insurance. And my health insurance wouldn't cover me getting the help I needed to find out what was wrong with my spine and to get it fixed. And what was wrong was I had the chemo. Chemo breaks down your joints and bones, and I had nerves that were crushed and discs. Discs that were crushed in my spine. And so I had this sciatic nerve pain that went down my legs, and I couldn't stand up. And I couldn't get help. And I was bent over a walker for a year before I finally, I was going to take my life. I was in so much pain that I was suicidal for a lot of that. Euthanasia, I was sad and down, but I was thinking about euthanasia, not suicide. I mean, I wasn't thinking of it as suicide. I was thinking of it as, I have to put this old horse down because this is just not working. So I randomly ended up talking to this priest who said, you need to get on food stamps and access government health insurance. He said, don't kill yourself. And he said, promise me. And I said, okay. And he said, may I put a prayer on your head? And I said, sure. And it was really beautiful. He put his hands on my head and he said a prayer. And the next day, he said, the forms aren't that hard to fill out. Just get a friend. I said, I literally can't even set up at a computer. So long story short, I got on food stamps and government health insurance, and I was barely working, and And in that next year, so 2 years, I finally got a spinal fusion, lumbar fusion. Like I tried everything and found out this is the only choice for me, was the lumbar fusion. So it took another year to recover. And then because of the way chemo works, it's so bad for you. It breaks down your joints and bones. I had an old ankle injury that always gave me pain, but I was just living with it, like limping around on it. Well, after that spinal surgery, it was just all getting so much worse. I could barely step on my foot. So then I had to have a hindfoot fusion, and that doctor was an asshat. Thank you, Corey, Dr. Corey, asshat. Did the surgery wrong, and no one knew it, and he just thought I was a pussy. I was like, well, I can't step on my foot. Like I get this jolt of pain. Turns out these giant screws he put in there were exiting the bottom of my bone. So after limping around for a year, even the asshat physical therapist thought I was just being a pussy. He's like, your dependency on that walker, it's an emotional dependency. And I was like, I don't think it is. Well, I finally found another surgeon who took an x-ray from a different angle, and he said, oh yeah, these screws are exiting the bottom of your foot. Let's just take them out. And he did. And I was walking perfectly within 3 weeks. So basically I went through 4.5 years of surgery to surgery to surgery to recovery to surgery to recovery. So I had 4.5 years of a lot of pain and doctors not listening to me, and agony. And during that time, and there were 3 months in particular after Dr. Asshat did the hindfoot fusion wrong, where I was trapped in bed and couldn't actually walk or work. And I was in pain all the time, and my ankle wasn't healing. And I became very depressed during that time. And I'm in the habit of doing this cool thing. I talk about this on another video. I can't remember the name of the video. But you have to name your mean liar voices and tell them to shut up, stop picking on me. So I realized that in the morning, at night when I was going to sleep, I'd wake up in the middle of the night, I had these really negative voices that I just felt so defeated and not supported. And the doctors just weren't listening, and I wasn't getting better. And so you have to do this. This is how I got myself out of this depression. You have to do this. You have to name your mean liar voices. Say jerk face. I'll call this negative. One of my negative mean liar voices, jerk face. I would catch it saying, picking on me or making me feel badly. Like, I'm never going to get better. I'm never going to walk again. I'm never going to be able to pay my bills. I'm going to lose my house. I'm never going to get off food stamps and government health insurance. I had to start saying, shut up, jerk face. Stop picking on me. Get out of my head. You have no power here. And then I would introduce a supportive voice. I'm doing my best. I won't always feel this way. I will get my life back. I will get better. So that's what you have to do. And I still have to do it sometimes. Sometimes I'm in so much pain because I still have lumbar pain and I have to get spinal injections. And so I say to myself, I say to that mean liar voice, shut up, stop picking on me. Like I feel very victim-y. Shut up. Or sometimes, shut up, stop picking on me, get out of my head, you have no power here. Sometimes I wake up in the morning and I feel the pain and I say, no, be happy, be happy, be happy. Like I actually say to myself, be happy, be happy. And sometimes I say a prayer to the universe or God or whatever you believe in. Help me be happy, help me be happy, make me happy today. So you have to tell yourself what you want to feel. Okay? I love you so much. If you get into trouble, call me. I won't freak out if you tell me you're thinking about killing yourself. I promise. We'll just talk. Okay? I love you.